Yeah, we're watching WTF Am I Doing versus Effing Rabbit or Fxxing Rabbits. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'll get you guys caught up on what the situation is actually. So, what the fuck am I doing? Oh, I already said it. WTF Am I Doing has already taken a first round. We're only about 8 minutes into a process game. It's been a bit back and forth. At the moment, Rabbits is actually pushing in to WTF's last at the moment. They've got about a 30% Uber ad and they're hard grinding it. But you also see like Ravu and his scout, they're all aliasing, so I don't know who is who. You know, they're also hard grinding as well. But right now, you know, Rabbits actually does have Uber, so they're pushing a fight in through door one. They've actually just used their Uber. They're getting denied by this pyro here, but there's you know, they're taking down sentries, soldiers are hopping around, typical process last fight. And you're seeing one of the scouts play the point. There's not a lot of frags been traded yet. Actually, Zinger boxes go down. Actually, Rabbits has lost about 3 players here. So Melons is going to play the point in a desperation move, but nah, he's going to get bullied out. And it's going to be a solid last hold. Looks like, yep, solid last hold from WTF. So now they're just going to reset, you know, start getting cap time on second, but they do have spawners coming in, Rabbits do. So, you know, here comes the fight on second.
It's Blue marching their way in. As they will find a good pick. And it looks like they will just retake second for free. They are, and the mid actually died. I didn't actually notice that, sorry, I only just came
Rabbit
in.
has gone down, yeah.
So they are actually just going to dry push straight into this. They need to kill the Pyro really quickly.
The Pyro's gone down.
And this is good, they just need to start playing the point now before the enemy team gets spawners.
They've got a decent amount of cap time so far. They're just edging it here and there, but you know, double scouts on them. Actually, they managed to wipe almost all of Rabbits with the med getting out with about 76%. Or does now he ends up using, he gets a saw off, he ends up using to escape with his life, at least for the moment, while the spawners come in. The cavalry has arrived. It's too little too late. They're gonna get forced back into this mid area. So I gotta say, you guys have actually missed a heck of a game so far, watching a heck of a game in the other one. So it's been kind of back and forth so far. It's been a real good game. You know, obviously WTF does have that one cap point, but you know, as we saw, Rabbits is continuing to press this issue and try to get in. So you know, I think we're in for a good couple maps here tonight.
And as you say, Red coming through, trying to take this mid. As Ravu will actually get forced, that's pretty well done from the blue side. They are going to lose a few plays for it. But as long as their mid lives here, they're going to have pretty much full Uber ad. As they are debating whether or not to fight this mid cap as their soldier comes in, they're going to collapse onto the demo. They're actually going to find the frag, and their medic's a bit overcommitted here.
Yeah, he's actually been bounced up a couple times. He's only on about 30 health here as well.
But he's done a really good job of actually dodging like all the enemy projectiles and stuff. Really well done from him actually to live there. Very clutch, as they are going to have a huge ad coming into this last push.
Yeah, big 80% ad. That's basically full ad. Let's be honest, people.
The enemy team's not going to get Uber in time, so it's a matter of them just scouting out, healing out players, seeing what the enemy team has, taking their time, not rushing this. Speaking of what they have, Pyro on red, heavy on red here.
Big Pootis action. We know some of you ozfortress players are big Pootis fans, so we'll see what they do. They're actually using door 3 here too. They're going to focus that heavy, and Pyro hasn't been focused. Pyro really didn't enter that fight until quite late.
Yeah, but I feel like that kind of it kind of nullifies the whole point of Pyro. You're there to deny an Uber.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they just weren't ready for it and they weren't scouting out, but he just wasn't there to deny the Uber. So Blue will actually get that round. As now we come into the next mid fight, who have you got your eyes on?
I am going to go the classic Just Jazz and do the bird's eye view. Because I like seeing
I'm on the
all
same
the
boat.
action.
I like that. As a soldier, high bomb straight in onto the demo, misses the air shot. Can't get the clip for the frag movie of ozfortress 26. But as we come in, it looks like Blue has a bit more favourable positioning. But the scouts are really doing a good job on red, getting that ground, and actually the demo will go down on the side of Blue.
I still have the heal at though. They've got the demos, they've got and a scout up too. They just need to protect their med. They don't see Pingu trying to wrap around, but he's been spotted out.
Scout trying to kill Red Medic and will not actually find that Pingu.
did get him down to about 80 health though, so you
As
know.
a soldier will fast roll out, attempting to do it. He will cock it up though, sadly.
And then he yeets himself back out. And
Just
we'll
reset him.
Yeah, it's time for another second fight.
As it looks like it will be pretty much free for red. Blue will probably just send maybe a soldier or something into sack and try and force a medic, but that's about it. That's all you'll see from blue.
Yeah, Rabbits does have a sniper up, but he's backed all the way back out to last again. So now it's just, you know, they've got full Uber ad here too. Well, 50% ad, you know, diminishing by the second. So it'll be interesting to see where they take this in. It looks like they're gonna take this in door 3 on the demo. Demo ends up jumping up. Scout gets Ubered. But
This
there
is
is a
not
level 3 all the way up. If that does go down, Blue has dropped 3 players. It's just a soldier, a scout, and another scout. All they have to do is...
I thought that was
stand
actually
up
going
a
to be
point.
pretty bad because they didn't get the sentry early, but a soldier was spamming from lobby and they just cleaned up pretty well.
Alright, I'm going to watch Zinger Box on this mid. And see what our buddy has to do. Sorry, guys, I don't know the team aliases. So I'm just going to call
Classic
them
TF2 players aliasing.
Yeah. So remember, aliasing is punishable by death.
As it looks like Blue's actually pretty late to this mid compared to the red demo, but he's not actually going to be able to get that much damage off being that early. As now it looks like Blue does have a pretty good position on this mid, as the soldiers are going to aggress now together. Doing pretty good damage, they're actually not going to get any frags for it. As a Blue, they've kind of wrapped around here.
Yeah, they dropped 2 players. The scout and the soldier went down quite early in the fight. So now it's just about, you know, can they pick off the rest of the players? Blue's med is actually on 36 health over behind the blue crates. I don't think the other team knows where he is,
That
but
was really weird. They kind of wrapped all the way onto the enemy choke, and at that point you're way too committed. So it was kind of inevitable that the med was going to die.
Sort of a little bit of a dance from the 2 teams, you know, we're going to
Yeah,
go
it
left,
was.
you guys going to go right, and, you know, just keep on rotating.
And at that point, if you're that far in, like, if you're not going to win, you're going to lose everyone. So as the Uber quickly comes in, Sniper will go down. Pingu dying very early as the sentry, only level 2, is going to go down really early, and
Med still
all they
is a
are,
dub.
they're just playing the point, but they actually are dying here as they were feeding a bit one by one, but they
Scout
will
just
actually
has
just
to
play the
touch
point.
it.
Yeah.
Who are we watching this one?
Honestly, I'm on the bird's eye view as well, to be honest. The classic,
watch
but I am going to be watching those soldiers.
Gonna watch Bonk It Up. Watching old Bonk It Up flying towards mid. He actually hits a really nice rollout. He gets the pack and he's rotating this left side. He sees the demo and he's actually bombed by the soldier. He's really weak. He gets arrowed, clutch arrow by their medic there.
I feel like that damage wasn't really followed up on. Maybe he went a bit too fast as the mid continues now. As Blue will lose one, but Pingu will trade it out. But that will be quickly traded out again. Good trades coming out as a medic, actually. Ravu coming in with a pick himself.
The massive arrow. That's what we'd like to see. That's what we'd like to see.
As now, again, they've kind of done this dance. They're all both in kind of awkward positioning. But now it looks like Red is actually in the favourable position. Take the mid. And Melons is going to live. So it's pretty much just going to be a stalemate on second here. As they will get their spawners. So don't think Red will try and push. Just be a classic TF2 stalemate.
I mean, Blue has, you know, Rabbits definitely has to start forcing the issue here. Because they're down 2 points. They've only got about, 15 minutes remaining in the game. So, like, you can't afford to sit on your laurels. We know TF2's fast-paced, anything can happen really quickly, but, at some point, you've got to get that force, you got to send a soldier into sack, or else,
On the same card, like, you can't rush it either, or else that could end up even worse situations, so they really got to find that balance. As they get forced by Scouts. Scouts just walking through sewer, as it looks like it's going to be a trade, as both teams seem to force the Uber. I think Red will have a slightly better Uber here, as it actually ends at a pretty even time. But Blue's kind of being wrapped right now, as they just want to back
gets out of there with he surfed I think a pipe with about 20 health remaining, manages to surf the rock all the way down and gets the pack. So now, it's reset time. Let's see what these teams are going to do for us now.
Well, as the soldier comes in, he is actually going to find a frag. And it looks like they want to commit to this fight. As the soldier jumps deep onto the combo, hits a fat rocket. He is going to go down for it, but that damage is enough to get second for them, it looks like. The Scouts are finding frags on the side of Blue. But, they actually find the medic. As the Scouts coming in clutch here for Blue.
Pick.
As now, it's just cleanup jobs. Wow, that was really clutch from the Blue Scouts. It looked like that bomb from Red did really good in getting them to space, but the Scouts just weaseled their way in and managed to find the frags.
Looks like they're going to stack this point, try to deny some spawners. I don't think they're going to get it. They do. They do deny some spawners, so now they basically free reign to come into second and start applying pressure from there. And they do have this full Uber advantage as well, but you've actually got Red hiding out a sniper in rollout. Can he get a pick anywhere? Nah, he's going to get spammed out. He's going to go down. So now the tables have turned. Rabbits are going to be pushing into last with this full advantage. Both teams, actually, WTF has dropped 3 players. All they need to do is start applying point pressure, and bada bing, bada boom, there's the round. It's now 2-3 in the favor of WTF.
Perfectly played there. Just played fully, Brad. Didn't do anything stupid. Perfectly played. I like to see that. Hate to see fully Brad pushes being cocked up. Didn't happen there, so I'm a happy man. As we come into this mid-fight, Demo's there at a pretty even time. Soldier fast onto the top of the roof here on the side of blue. It's now. It looks like everyone's just waiting for aggression, as it looks like the Scout will find a pick onto the Demo.
The Demo's gone down. That's a massive pick in this mid-fight. Now they're...
It won't mean anything if they don't have positioning, and they're all just dying one by one here. It looks like they are going to back up, as they got the nice pick, but they didn't have any positioning to actually support that pick. It looks like they're going to go on to last year.
It seemed like once they got the pick, the entire other team just like, alright, let's just commit, let's just try to salvage this, and they actually end up salvaging it.
Yeah, really good counter aggression, you know, because they lost their Demo. They need to really apply pressure before the enemy team can. You know, your Demo is a really important life to have. On the mid especially, as he's going to be doing the main damage output, as they will actually use here in lobby. I'm not sure if that was a force or not.
It looks like they got forced by Kanye West with the Japanese characters in it.
As well, that means Melons does have a pretty big advert pushing out of this last. Just like really a lot of loss is really annoying. Got to be careful of those plays that just like to sneak and back up. As now
big old sneak plays.
As now they're just playing it slow, slowly clearing everything, which is the right thing to do. Hopefully leaving someone on last here. I really hope so. I don't see anyone, but I think they have faith.
Big Uber pop.
As they won't get anything for it. I don't know if they were forced there or if they just decided to use to get the point, but they really didn't get anything off it. And Ravage just going to have point as they're leapfrogging Ubers now, and they're probably going to lose second for it. I feel like they could have just bullied their way in there and not used Uber.
Yeah. Seems like they just wanted to force the issue, but actually Rabbit's going to go down with 98%. So now it's, you know, come on in, Rabbits. It's your this is your point. They're going to try to get a sack off on the med, but the med does survive. And now let's just bonk it up, who's basically backed all the way back out into second. They do get a scout spawner, a weapon fire, but you know, they've only got 4 on the point now. They do have that heals, but they're at about, you know, 60% disad, and Rabbits are just going to walk right in and say, nope, this is our point now, you know. And so here we are in second again, and we're going to have a last push fairly shortly, because they do have about a 50% ad. You know, red team is hard building this as much as they can, but there's only so much you can do when you're holding last, you know. And the thing is, with speed of this game at these higher levels, like a 10% ad is easy to push on. A 50% ad, you know, good luck trying to defend it. So actually see the Ubers does get forced out. Melons does go down, so does Zingerbox. They've dropped 3 players so far. This last push so far is a disaster. They salvage it, they do get the med, but, you know, that should have been done a lot better.
You know what I said about pretty big Uber ad pushes being cocked up? I don't like to see it. Now I wasn't exactly sure what went wrong. They kind of just all jumped in, but maybe not shooting the same targets at the same time. Not focus calling, but they all just seemed to be collapsed on. Didn't really put enough pressure up the top. I feel like if the enemy team's playing top, you really have to put point pressure for them to come down off the top.
Yeah.
As now, looks like it's just going to be a stalemate. Blue on mid, so with that medic pick, they don't lose too much, but they could have gotten a round off that, which is really what they needed to tie it up with 8 minutes left. Get that point pressure off them. You know, who cares if it goes to Golden Cap here? They don't lose. So, you know, it's better to go to Golden Cap, obviously, than to lose. As it looks like
the thing is now, it's like, WTF really has... They don't have any need to really push out. You know, they've got 9 minutes on the clock, but the time for the actual game itself is about 8 minutes or so. So they can really afford to take this as slow as they can. You know, there's... Basically, the ball is in Rabbit's court. That's
well, they tried to put pressure on the flank with their heals, but it just didn't work out. Both of them dying, and they are forced, which is the perfect situation for Red here. As now, the medic kind of caught in as well. He's probably going to die for it, but no, a clutch shot from Pingu
massive
is actually
headshot.
going to save his medic there. As they should probably be getting out right now. I mean, it is even players. They should force the medic and get out. As it looks like Ravu is exactly that. He gets forced, and now they just need to get out and live. Having a sniper in this situation is kind of shitty.
I don't think they've spotted the soldier above. And that soldier's going to jump on him, and he's getting away with such little health.
Ravu is so weak. A scout really wants to chase up on that, but Ravu had the superior positioning there and is able to get out.
Good Circe as well.
Oh, and he actually gets bombed again, but is manages to live again. He's unkillable right now.
Well, you see Pingu's trying to peek mid as a sniper. He doesn't get anything off. I think they called that pretty early. You saw the players hide behind that spire. And now they're just like, alright, you know, your move again.
Right now, it's not very uncommon to see Red to put pressure on here. They're pretty much 2 players down with that sniper. He does have good sightlines, but sending a soldier in to put pressure on that sniper, having the rest of your team push in can work. Looks like they are going to go for the safer option here. Not going to throw away around. Not going to give Blue the opportunity. This is not their push to make. It is Blue in the end of the day. So now we're waiting on Pingu here. Kind of to make a play for them. As the soldier is going to be putting spam onto him, and they will lose a player there.
They're playing pretty safe. They know that Ping is a massive threat on that sniper class. So it's like, alright, you know, we're going to play under, play close to bottom IT, and, you know, not give him really any sightline to come through. But they are going to start applying pressure back through choke. But it's not going to come to anything. They just keep on getting spammed out.
I think it's good to apply pressure, but they just need to make sure they're not going to lose plays to that sniper sightline. Again, as I said, it's Blue's push to make, and having a sniper will really inhibit them in making that push. So really, it's just up to Blue to make the play and Red to make the mistakes, and really, it's going to be hard to make the mistake when
Pingu is rotating around the sewer. He's going to get called out though. This soldier has eyes on him. Just get a little body shot off, but you know, nothing's come of it yet. Oh, he almost saw that med, but the med gets out under. And he's come out left side, he goes back inside, outside, all around the point.
He's really trying to find a sightline here. They know that he needs to make a play here for them to get the opportunity to get this round. But Red are playing this really well. Well, I was saying that until Bonk is going to go down.
The demo.
And that is a huge pick as Raver is going to use, and Melon still has Uber. If Melons holds on to this and no one else dies, this is going to be really good for them as they are going to use. He does get forced out by that soldier. And they are kind of disconnected from this Uber. They don't really have a full combo, and this Uber is not really going to achieve anything. But the medic is caught in. Ravu is caught in here, and he is actually going to die.
Pinch.
So this is actually still really good, but both soldiers coming in trying to salvage it. So Melons
gets denied. It's only Bonk. Bonk it up is the only player up. They can just stack this cap. And the other players have around 7 to 15 seconds to respawn. So it
looks like they are going to go dry.
Just go.
It is going to be hard because there is a heavy on the point. And there are sticks. I wouldn't be surprised if they call this push off. But the heavy does actually go down, but they do get spawners. So I say it's safe for them just to back up now. Get the Uber ad, because they do have Uber ad. It's not much, but it is enough to push off. And just play it safely. They don't want to cop this up. They have the time pressure. They need to play this safe. So now, we'll see. Just grinding here. Hard grinding. On Melons here. 85%, 90%, this is where they need to start walking to lobby, buffing players, and that's exactly what they're doing. Walking into lobby, they're going to have to decide quickly.
They're going to take it out.
Looks like they're going door 3, scout
classic
leading
door 3
in.
Push.
They need to kill this sentry really quickly here. It looks like they are going to do damage on it. They need to clear those sticks on the point, so the scouts can play point. They are clear, but it's a bit late, as frags are going towards red here.
Oh, they've dropped 3 players. Everybody else is weak. Melons is going to get out, barely with his life. But you know, it's a scuffed last push. I don't know what's going on.
That's happened twice now on the side of Blue. Really, really not good from them. In those clutch moments that they could really take rounds, or they're favourable to take rounds, they're just really not clutching it out on those last pushes. I don't know if it's, you know, focus calling or if it's what it is, but
I think it's because they tried to force the issue going and dry, but they had that heavy on the point, so it's like, you know, they feed one player. You know, the other one, so they sort of get disconnected instead of like, all right, let's just wait, heal up our players.
I think that wasn't like too bad losing that play, because they do get to spawner, but I just don't know if they're really scouting it out and seeing what they have and pre-planning it. Yeah, it is a small Uber ad, but that's why you start walking in at 85%, checking everything out, seeing what they have and making a good Uber there. A door 5 Uber would have been pretty good there, I reckon. But here comes Red. Speaking of Ubers, coming in, trying to find something, hopefully finding a good med pick or something. And that's exactly what they do. Perfect job from Red here. It looks like they might even get another round off this, off Blue's cocked Uber push. As they do clean up. Ravu lives, the Soldier's still in.
And he's going to go down. It's a full wipe.
Oh man, again, just that's TF2. You can botch a push, and then this momentum can just swing straight in the other team's direction. As now, pretty big Uber ad here, 40% for Ravu. Let's just hope they don't pull a blue team and just fuck it up completely.
I mean, they do already have that point up on the board, so they, especially when pushing their last, they can afford to take it slow. But Blue's like, now they realize they have to force this issue. They're gonna feed 3 players in though, and that's just gonna give WTF full reign to just walk in, and they're actually gonna get backpacked. And bada bing, bada boom, weapon fire.
I'd say that's the game.
That's definitely game.
2 minutes. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be possible. You know, I don't want to speak too soon, but I think it is pretty much over here.
They would have to cap both points in like record fashion, something we've never seen. So we'll see how we go.
Now, hyper aggression you expect to see from Blue, as they need to make stuff happen. Soldiers coming in, so they're going to be finding the med here. So they might be able to salvage 1 round off this with 1:35 left. If they just clean up everything on the mid and cap this fast. Scout still on the mid here. He's going to find a demo. And
he's going to try to get this point. They are being pressured by Bread.
A 1v1 here. The medic's just standing still as he's healing
Melon's
Scout.
Just chilling.
Completely phased. And GG it is. It is not possible to cap 2 rounds now, so... I feel like it was Blue just really not, you know, taking the time that they needed on those last pushes.
It just seemed a bit rushed at times. Like they had, you know, at least 2 or 3 really good opportunities to like take it in. You know, obviously you got to scout it out, take it in, and then just start applying some pressure. But you know, it just either the frags didn't go their way, or like I said, it was just rushed. So, you know, as a result, I mean, we're going to see one last push. You know, Kanye West is going to start playing this point, but I don't know, with 30 seconds remaining, I don't think it's possible. Not at this level. I mean, if you're a friend team against a low open team, maybe, but...
The rollout takes around about 10 seconds in itself, so it is over. And, yeah, so... I really feel like they just need to take their time on those last pushes. They had the opportunities to take the rounds that they needed, but that clock pressure, I think, really got to them. And they just wanted to get those rounds fast.
Yeah.
But,
and in the words of RR Lucky, I hate seeing cocked up full Uber pushes.
Yeah,
you know?
I do.
It's your favorite saying, I feel like.
It is, you know, I've seen it twice now. I'm not a happy man, you know. But
yeah,
it happens, clock pressure in these officials. In scrims, you know, you're a bit calmer. It's easy to pull off, but in these officials, everything changes. So, now, we're going to take a look at the logs here.
Wow, 9,000 damage from Largen in charge. I'm pretty sure that's Big Dad. Hi, Big Dad. Bonk it up doing a pretty good amount of damage as well, you know, 9,200.
So, you can see the damage and the frags were in the side of Red. You know, about 1,600 more damage on Red and around about 19 more frags. So they did get out DM'd in that sense, but I still feel like Blue, again, I'm going to say it again and again, I feel like they had those chances to get those rounds still, but it is what it is. If we look at the medic deaths, they're pretty much exactly the same, 11 to 12. Blue actually having better survivability.
Ravu with the big 4 frags as the medic.
Yeah.
Absolutely heroic.
Fat, you know? What did you get? 18 DPM.
I think it's just you know, because Rabbits definitely put themselves in a lot of really good positions. It's just when push comes to shove and trying to convert those last pushes into last caps, they just really couldn't pull it off. Whereas WTF were much more decisive in that. I'll steal a football term, in that final third, you know, to try to get those caps. And even though like the score line is pretty close, you know, it's Rabbits, they're going to be looking back on that map in the Discord chat right now and just saying like, well, what the heck went wrong? How are we going to fix this for Logjam? You know?
And that's another thing, right? They're going to have to change their mentality. They're going to be pissed about cocking up those last pushes, because they know that they had those opportunities to get those rounds. But now they're just going to have to, block that out of their mind and focus on this one. And that's really what can separate like a really good team, if they can just separate what happened last map and forget all the bad things that happened and just focus on this map. That's where you see really good teams shine.
Definitely.
If you dwindle on the bad things that happened, you're not gonna play well on the next map.
I do want to point out that all of the mid fights, with the exception of one mid fight, went in the way or in favor of WTF. So when they're getting to that mid fight, they're getting a lot of really good pressure. And I remember a couple times seeing Rabbits, their players are in good position, like they picked the demo one time, but then they just get counter aggressed and they drop players, almost silly, stupidly, sillily, doesn't matter. They drop the players. And as a result, the mid fights don't go their way, and like a good mid fight is very crucial to like setting up the rest of that round for you. So
I think in the majority they're actually pretty close, but I feel like again you just have to keep your med alive in those mids. I don't think it happened too much, like their meds dying that mid, but like as you said, mids can really like sway the way of the game. That's how this game works. You win mid, you get that advantage straight away.
If you have a bad mid fight, you're gonna have a bad last fight, because that's where you're gonna be. Let's be honest.
Yeah. So, now talking about Logjam, what do you think?
I just from a pure mentality perspective, I think it's going to go in the favor of WTF. I think they're going to be energized off of, playing that game the way they did, denying Rabbits the last pushes that they did as well. And so even though it was a bit of a close game, at least if I was on their team, I'd be like, yeah, we beat them one game, we can beat them the other. But I also think Rabbits is going to have a big chip on their shoulder at this point, because they're going to be talking in the Discord or in the Mumble saying, we should have had that, we could have had that, we needed to have that. But when it came time to apply that point pressure and win a round, get those needed frags, they just couldn't pull it through. So I think it'll be interesting to see like how these two mentalities are clashing. Is it going to be like hyped up versus like pissed off type of mentality? But I also think that pissed off mentality is kind of like a double-edged sword, right? If you're angry, you're frustrated, and you take that out and it goes really well, you're just going to get energized and you'd be really hyped up. But if you're angry and you're pissed off and you drop one or two rounds, it can really just snowball against you. And especially in a game like Team Fortress 2, where it's so heavily momentum based, like you need all the momentum on the side you can get. So I'm not going to give any score prediction, but I am going to give a team prediction, and I think WTF is going to pull this out of the hat for the second map.
Yeah, I have to agree on that one. I think it depends what type of player you are. When you get mad, it can either fire you up and just make you want to kill everything. But it also could be, like, for example, like me, if I tilt, I just play like shit, I'm too busy dwindling in my head.
Oh, I know definitely.
About, what happened on the last map, like, I remember playing Grand Finals and just being so pissed, and that just, like, affected everything, and that could happen, it happens to even some of the best players. So I think the team, already, like, what the fuck am I doing, has an advantage mentally, because they've held off last pushes, they've denied that advantage that Blue had, like they've really done a good job. And I feel like the Red Soldiers are pretty powerful. I'm not too familiar with like this division, how it's going, in terms of how the players are going. I'm not too familiar, but I know like Big Dad is a really good soldier, and I feel like this is a really soldier heavy map and that sort of stuff. So no shade to the other players, obviously. I'm not too familiar with their play styles and that sort of stuff, but I guess we'll find out in terms of time.
Easy. I think it's gonna be a fun game, because I think Logjam, just the way it plays, it's such a large map to play on that, like, if your soldiers are on fire, today in my official, for example, we had our soldiers all the way from Archoke do a fast bomb from Archoke into basically their second spire. So like this is almost sort of a soldier playground map. So it's
It is. It's
yeah,
really
it's-
friendly for soldier jumps. All the ramp slides, all the places you can jump off, all the high bombs. Look at the sky. There's like nothing to block you from high bombing. Soldiers are super powerful on this map.
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well as I think on that note as well, your team has to be really well and coordinated to cover this huge amount of ground that you have on this mid. You have to be able to coordinate with those soldier bombs and walk forward. And I think the team that can do that better will easily win this map.
To steal a sporting cliche, and also a cliche that I said 100 times when I was broadcasting the BTS qualifiers, whichever team makes the least amount of mistakes is going to win. Because when you think about any sort of sporting event, be it footy or be it TF2, like if you make mistakes, you're going to get punished for it. And especially at this high a level, like if you're making a mistake, these players can punish you. They can punish you hard. Right?
Oh, for sure.
They'll punish you by denying your last cap. They'll punish you by...
Look at those last pushes. They all got completely punished.
Or I remember last map where Rabbits, they Ubered out of second point. Or Ubered out of last into second, but by the time that they had gotten to the other team, they'd already backed out a choke. They just leapfrogged the Uber, and then they push back into him. So you're either like immediately punished, or you're punished, very shortly. And TF2 is a game where like action happens really quickly, and then sometimes we don't have anything happen. Like 15 minutes, sometimes that happens. But like, at this level, it's very fast paced. It's very exciting.
And I think the team that can deal with that pressure better will, already have an advantage. Just it seems pretty obvious, but like in these officials, like it's not a scrim. Scrims, you're there to practice, and it doesn't matter if you win or lose in a sense, because you're just there to improve it. Officials, the result does matter, and that pressure does mount on. And especially now, you've just lost the first map for the whole thing. Well, before I can finish, we're actually starting here.
Yeah, so I'm gonna watch
second map.
I'm gonna watch Bonk It Up on this mid fight. I think he played last round very well, so it'll be interesting to see how he plays this mid. He's gonna grab this pack, fast bombing it all the way out. Sort of
classic demo rollout, and he is actually going to be there slightly earlier than the other demo. As now he is going to get those early sticks.
Yeah, just trading some spam at the moment. Nothing's really come of it so far. But now here we go. The action's starting. The big soldier bomb up on a scout doesn't manage to get the med. Actually, Rabbits has already dropped 3 plays. They just dropped their med as well, and actually, one last second rocket manages to salvage a med pick for Rabbit. So it's going to be even Ubers when both of these teams actually, Rabbit's going to have slight ad. They do get the earlier spawn, but it's a massive med pick that.
That was a chaotic mid for sure. It looked like that Red was going to have their med fine, but at the very end is where it happened to all go wrong, sadly. But it was a good mid either way. Soldier's aggression was really good. As now it looks like Blue, they really want to fight this mid. They really want to retake this, but it looks like
they are hungry.
Now, well, they were, but now it seems like they don't want it anymore.
Like, we're hungry. Yeah, never mind. We're not hungry anymore. We're on a diet.
As, well, it looks like it's just going to be a classic TF2 stalemate. Is that actually the ad is really large on the side of Blue. I don't know if they're actually going to know this.
Massive 80 ad. It'll be interesting to see, because they've got about 50 ad. Sorry, 50, not 80. They had 80% when I saw. And yeah, so they are going to call, but yeah, I don't think they know they have the massive ad that they do, which is dwindling now. So
yeah, they're not going to push off it. It looks like. I just don't think they realized that Red wasn't grinding there, which is, I guess, fair enough. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes. Yeah. But. Yeah, so now we're just on a classic stalemate. It's about, all about these sacks, and trying to force the issue here is, well, there we go, the first pick going to be coming in. Nice shot there.
The demo does get pretty aggressive here, so they do force both Ubers out. So now I've got a classic Uber trade, but how's this post-Uber fight going to develop? Because Blue's Uber does fade first. Zingerbox gets popped up. He manages to get out, though, but Scout goes down. Bonk It Up for the red team has actually gone down. Actually, they've just picked up the med. Rabbits is now medless, and WTF only has 2 players up, but they are going to have Uber ad. They're about 30% right now. Melons isn't going to pop up for another 5 seconds, and the red med's just like, nope, I'm just going to run back to our spawners.
That was a
know,
bit
I'm
weird.
gonna
It
play it
seemed like
safe.
Red had really the advantage in that push, and then they just lost it as the demo might go down now. So they're not expecting the soldier aggression. He does get middied, but he will die from a crater. Demo trying to be meleeed by one of the scouts. He will go down. Bit of a weird aggression here, as it just seems to be feeding players one by one.
Yeah.
And,
It
well,
seems
that's
like they
enough
want
for
to
them
try
to
to get
push.
they want to try to get that hero pick, but it doesn't really come to anything. The only thing that ever happens with those hero picks, guys, is you're gonna feed. You know,
Yeah,
play with
and
the
they
team.
fed 3 players one at a time. That wasn't hard at all for Red just to deny those players one by one by one. And now, well, because of that, they're able to push into last.
Yeah, they push in, they use in. One soldier goes down fairly early, and they're just gonna play point. Scouts on the point. First round in favor of WTF.
That was super back and forth. But I guess Red just really playing off that advantage that they got and off defeating players from Blue. That's all that mattered there.
Definitely. So who are you watching on this mid fight? Are you probably
I'm really watching
skyboxing
the
it?
soldiers. I really want to see which team aggresses with their soldiers here.
Yeah.
As the demo is just trading spam as per usual. See the Blue demo really weak here, and I think he does get arrowed here a bit late as they run a sniper to mid here actually. And he's actually going to find 2 picks straight off the bat.
That's a
And
massive
now
3 picks.
They're going to leave there. Sniper is really good on this mid. It's such a big sightline on this map, even after the changes on RC11. So, well, they play that, and they totally catch us Red off guard. They weren't playing in terms of avoiding sniper sightlines. So, pretty good there. Really unexpected play, which is sometimes what you need.
Yeah. Well,
So-
it's basically just going to be given second for free. Ubers are pretty much even at this point. And Largen in Charge 1992 at hotmail.co did disconnect. He's reconnected now. And they're just going to start fighting in this upper right lobby area. But, you know, I think they realize... Oh, they still know that they've got a sniper, so they really have to take this slow. They've got to get a couple picks off before they can really afford to push. But Red does have a sniper. They also have the Pyro and an Inji, but they also do drop their demo. And they're going to force the med here. So they force the med. They have to get the force out. They get the force out, and they're like, all right, run.
Yeah, that was interesting. I think the Pyro just walked forward into the medic and forced the issue with the Uber. As now, looks like they're just going to reset into second. This is where having a sniper is kind of annoying because you don't really have that packing power that you can't switch off, really, here. You kind of have to be stuck on snipers. The enemy team, if they have a sniper, well, they can switch off, but it looks like the last fight... Looks like Blue kind of wants to force the issue, but it's not time to do that. Red team in better positioning, they can just out-spam them.
And Red also has a demo advantage as well, because Zingerbox did go down, Pingu goes down, so now they're 3 players down, and they're like, alright, let's back out a little bit. But the sniper does get a big pick on Bonk It Up, and then actually they're going to get a pick on the med, so now Rabbits is medless. So, you know, there's going to be a big ad for them. They just got to get the second point, you know, pray there's no back cappers. I've just checked, there aren't any. And by the time the med spawns, they're going to have 90% ad. That's full Uber ad, folks. You know what that means. Uber push time. Let's see this, boys.
I really feel like Blue are just kind of not sure what they want to do. I don't know if it's that they have a lack of a main caller or the main caller is just having a bit of trouble, but like they're just kind of sitting there and not really sure if they want to leave or not, and then they just get punished for it. So
Yeah.
a bit weird. Same with that Uber push. Like they kind of just sat there in lobby and then just got forced and then went in and then left and then kind of stayed in and died for it. So we will see a pick as they look like they are going to push here, and Blue completely out of position is going to be just collapsed on, really. Again, just reinforcing my point. They don't seem to know what they're doing at this point in time, but they are finding frags. But it doesn't matter because Rav is still up and their mid died.
Now it's just Zinger box up, and he's like, nope, back to last.
Yeah, again, it just feels like
second.
they knew that they had disad there, and they just decided to sit closer in the mid, which is just, you know, you sit further back on mid and you send one soldier into force or something like that.
Yeah.
But they just kind of sat close mid and got completely caught out, so...
Yeah, it just seems, just looking at this, they've got just a lot better coordination, WTF does. Rabbits, they've certainly got good players, you know, we've seen good picks, and the mid fight was, you know, definitely went in their favor. But at the same time, it's just really not coming together for them when it's the most important time, which is that last push, which is like that pushing into second, pushing into mid, stuff like that. They just seem a bit disjointed. Meanwhile, WTF, you know, they're very cohesive. Every player is pushing in when they need to push in.
That's the
And
thing, right? They just collapse on the mistakes that the enemy team is making. Like they're really collapsing well as well. Like they're getting all the picks they need to and just punishing them. And if nothing changes from blue here, I don't see them being able to pull out rounds here if they just, you know, keep being that disorganized and, you know, not exactly sure what they want to do, because it's just going to keep on getting punished.
And that's that old cliche again. Whichever team makes the least amount of mistakes is going to win, you know. And so far, you know, it's only been about 9 minutes. We've only got one round up on the board, but you know, I think it's still. I just can't see Rabbits really pulling it out of the hat, so to speak. You know,
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, you see what I did there. Yeah. I can be clever sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes.
Well, we've got to have some entertainment for these stalemates.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna see a soldier try to come in through Valley, but he's gonna get denied pretty easily. They actually do get the Uber Force off. Ravu ends up popping. I think he's just trying to get a trade off, and he's like, nope, nothing's coming of this. We don't get the med. Get the heck out. Right? They do end up picking up Pingu as a really nice pipe, or a really nice sticky, sorry. And now Melon does still have ad, but they've dropped 3 players. Melon's pretty weak here. He's going to have to use. He does end up using, but they've dropped 3 players before that. I guess it's 3v3. You know, Ravu, it's only Ravu bonk it up and weapon fire up through red.
I feel like that's where Ravu 4 is just a stronger med from what I'm seeing. He realizes when things are going bad and he gets out when he needs to.
Yeah.
Rather when Melons is sometimes getting caught in and, you know, not positioning right. Ravu is really strong in that department, it seems.
It reminds me of something that I think it was Monty Wigglesworth, Hero Medmate.
Shout out
he
to
told
Monty
me,
Wigglesworth.
yeah, shout out to Monty, my boy. I remember him telling me when I first started playing a competitive
hang on
TF2.
a minute. We lost Medic. Ravu does go down just as we're complimenting Ravu. He gets 2-shot, it looks like, by his scout.
You know?
The
monkey
Caster's
paw
curse,
closes
man.
its claw. I was gonna say, like, one of the differences I've seen between good medics and bad medics is like
Oh,
Melon
well,
does go
another
down.
medic death, just as you're talking. I feel like we have Caster's curse right now.
Alright,
Speaking of medics, and they're all dying.
but yeah, like you said, Ravu just gets out. He doesn't hesitate. Whereas I feel like Melons, you know, sometimes he'd be like, am I staying in? Am I staying out? He needs to just make a decision, stick to it. Alright, I'm getting out. I've got 50%. You know, if you're still in and you get died, or you die, you get died on, you know, then there's only so much you can do. Pingu does try to sack for the med. He does not get anything out on that. So now Ravu's got about 40% ad for this next last push.
Yeah, I feel like medic, as much as a team player as you are, you know, you keep the team alive, you have to be selfish as well. You know, if you see things going bad, if your players are staying in, oh well, you know, fuck them, they can die. I want to live here, you know. My Uber is more important than their lives. But here comes the Uber push, it looks like.
Yeah, here we go.
As they look like they're coming through. Classic top left push.
You do have a scout in secret, I've just noticed. He's going to start playing the point. He's getting a lot of good point pressure on. And then everybody just turns around to focus him, and they're just going to get focused on instead. But actually, WTF does drop 4 players in that Uber exchange.
I feel like they could have played the cap time a bit more, because they got so much cap time, but then, like, they didn't play the cap again. They kind of just tried to get frags, and then they just didn't get them. I feel like they could have sat in the point again and just got that cap time up even further and even kept the point.
Yeah, well now Melons, oh, he's so weak. Melons goes down 99%.
99%.
Massive.
Couldn't get any worse. That sucks. As now, well, it looks like Red wanted pressure off that. As you can see, look at Raven. He's just out of it. He sees things are going bad, might go bad, like, he just gets out. And that's a really strong point of Ravu.
Just yeets himself out of a bad situation.
Yeah, it doesn't even, it's not like if it is going to go bad, even if he sees an opportunity of it going bad, he just goes, no, I'm just going to back off for a bit, and if it goes well, I'm going to re-enter. And look, now he has the Uber ad.
The best defense, or best offense is a good defense. And sometimes the best defense is just leaving.
Just telling your team, fuck you, you can fight for yourselves, I'm keeping my Uber percentage.
If you can get some picks, God bless you. If you can't, well, I'll see you when you respond in 20 seconds. Good luck.
Now they actually have a pretty substantial Uber ad here. They've ground this pretty well. And
like,
here we go.
Time to go.
This is where you probably shouldn't have a sniper, I feel, as now they're just going to get crushed on. Playing the point really well as the sniper does actually block the point.
And is it going to happen? It does happen.
See, I feel like that's why you shouldn't have a sniper. The sniper didn't really do much in that last hold. I feel like you're better to have a pyro or something like that.
Yeah.
Sniper's just like a hero shot and then you get off.
Especially at that big disad, you know,
Yeah, exactly.
you just have to have stuff to deny. You can't have stuff
Yeah.
that's, all right, we're going to get a pick. No, get a pick when you're stalemating. You know, when you're
Well,
stalemating, go grab it. But
Speaking of sniper, Blue's running it again. So I
I mean,
want to
it
see if he
worked well
does.
last
Yeah, it
time,
worked
so-
well, and I want to see if Red is actually prepared for it. As now he comes late into choke, and he does have good sightlines here. He could actually find a good pick here, and they've actually spotted him, I think, as the medic is playing passive. But
Ooh,
what a
they
shot!
dropped
Wow.
5 players.
Wow, that's incredible. I think they
That-
focused too hard on the sniper there, it felt. I feel like they just jumped in the choke trying to put that pressure on the sniper as, oh, hang on a minute. With a scout pressuring Ravu here. Will he get his spawners in time to help him? I don't think so. He's going to have a really late death here. He actually gets a saw off, but he's only on 78%. He might actually get out here. He is really
Could
big.
he?
No.
No.
He was so close to getting
That's a
out there.
late death.
That is really late. This should be around for Blue. Unless they can, you know, unless Red can really get a good pick onto the medic or get a force or something. They are in second here trying to pressure. And with that sniper, that's the disadvantage. Look, he goes down. The medic goes down to a sniper. And the counter snipe showing that, well, Red team's like, well, you can snipe. We too can play that game.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
And
So they say.
there we see it. Red just fragging out onto Zinger box as well now. Just a
Big
soldier
4
in, and well,
frags.
he's kind of screwed right now. He's got nothing to do. And well, Bred's like, you're low HP, but I don't care. I'm still gonna headshot you. Bred absolutely popping off. right now.
Red going massive. He's on a 4 kill streak at the moment too, so he's like, nope, you know.
And that's the thing. I feel like when you have that much momentum, you just gotta keep on hitting shots. You know, you're feeling yourself right now. You just gotta swing out and kill everything.
You just get in the zone, man. You know, you start realizing it's just a confidence thing. You start tunneling, your brain just focuses, you get into that flow state. And when you're playing on a class like as deadly as a sniper is, that can make all the difference.
I feel
And
like when
especially
it's
especially
sniper
when
v
you and your
sniper.
team sniper v sniper, yeah, but I was gonna say, especially like when it's you're on point, you're on form, and your team's on form. As I say, Brett picks up Zinger box, then like, you know, anything can happen. And as we see, what's ended up happening is that WTF is really just forcing these issues. You got 15 minutes remaining. You got 2 points up on the board, but from what I've seen, it's just been all them this entire game. You know, Blue's had a couple chances to like really push out, but you know, they're WTF, they're just much more cohesive than the
Here
other
comes
team.
the Uber push though, coming in from WTF.
Zinger box goes down.
And
Bed
the
goes
frags
down.
are just coming out. Bred, even in the last push, showing that he can fucking snipe.
He is one
Wow.
cheeky bastard. I'll give
The
him
thing, I
that.
feel like another thing when you're sniping v sniping, you know, as a sniper, you want to prove that you're better than the other sniper. And when you get destroyed, you feel so demoralized and so frustrated that you can't do the same. But are they going to run a sniper to mid any team? Nope, doesn't look like it. Looks like it's just going to be a standard mid fight.
So I'm gonna watch Bonk It Up again. It's
Ooh,
actually a
deep
lot
bomb
of
into the
big
choke.
high pressure. He doesn't get anything, does get picked off, but Bonk It Up is at 2 health, does get an arrow off on him.
The space has been made. That's all that needs to be done with that demo damage. But now they've lost that space and they just get collapsed.
Just
That's
like
the thing.
3, 4,
They had the
Zinger box
space.
and Melon.
That's the thing. I feel like they had that space and they just didn't play off it. Melons is going to probably
Zinger
get
box
killed
goes
here.
down. Melon just tries to run. He's running, and
Yeah, he goes down.
There he goes.
So this should be around for Red. But yeah, I felt like they had that space off that demo damage. That demo is really like critical for getting the space on this mid. And as soon as that demo took that damage, who cares if the soldier died who bombed him? You guys just walk forward. They're all crowded up and they're choke healing up. But they just didn't do that and they just let the enemy team push back into them. But here we go. Will they cock up the push? Will I be happy? Will I be sad? We'll find out.
I don't think they're going to cock it up. I think they're fully, the ball is in their court, it is rolling, they have snowballed, they use the Uber in, they see that level 2 sentry, and they're just going to like, nope, we're just going to focus it, and they're just applying pressure from there on out. The soldier does end up going down on
I feel like
WTF,
Blue
and
has
so
a
does
much
the
better
Med.
post-Uber positioning here. And, well, it looks like I'm going to be sad unless a miracle happens here. And what do you know?
Can Brett go huge? He picks up 1. He picks up 2.
He's going to get on the cap, but no, he doesn't get it. That would have been super, super, super clutch.
Kanye
but-
West with a clutch meat shot, but that could have gone very, very poorly, you know.
I
It
feel
was
like,
going very poorly until
I
Kanye
think
West
it-
cleans up.
I feel like it did go okay for WTF because they did get the medic. It is pretty much even Ubers. But still, full Uber ambush, cocked up, not happy, not what I like to see, but here we go. A fight onto second as the medic Melons gets skyboxed there. He is going to land back on the ground. Gotta be careful with those sticks and rollers. But looks like he is going to be living with 30 HP. He's a bit worried of other people coming in now, but looks like he is going to be okay and living.
So they're about even Ubers at the moment. Blue does have this man advantage, and they're just going to use this man advantage to bully their way into first. Ravu does go down. He goes down to a soldier rocket. I did not catch that. I'm so sorry.
Also goes down. That's the thing. Like, I feel like that coordination was better, but they still needed to like be ready for those soldiers to just counter jump and stuff like that. That's just, you know, you got to be ready for that. As much as you want to aggress, you got to be ready for their aggression.
Remember, players, protect your med. It's never their fault when they die. All med mains
out there. I'm pretty sure they'd share that message.
Bonkered Up does go down. He was a bit overextended. Zingerbox does get the frag out. So now Blue is looking at another last push situation. They have to get 3 rounds in 11 minutes, which is perfectly doable. But from what I've seen so far, it's not looking likely. They're just going to hard build this Uber out. They've got about a 20% advantage at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see how they push out of here.
Well, Red is on crits. What will happen here? Will this be a fat crits? Will this be a beef? Will they use it before, you know, Blue push in? You know, it's all about that.
They're going to have crits just about now. Blue does get the Uber, but they're not in a position to use it. They're all holding back, trying to build it up, which allows Ravu to get those crits out. I'm going to scan him, put my view models on him. Looks like they're going to push out with the big
laser
heavy
beam
weapons
heavy?
guy.
Is this going to be the laser beam heavy? And it is! Laser beam heavy comes out, he's going to destroy first one. They are going to counter use
They're going to use...
Wow, that was an
two big picks, though.
Interesting choice, but it actually forces the Uber, so it does fine. There's a sentry in here they don't know, and they're just going to be denied. They have to leave. Laser beam heavy coming in clutch, and they're going to have crits before Uber.
I wish this game would have happened before our official, because I would have loved to have tried that.
The laser
next
beam
season,
heavy,
folks. Next season.
Pudus power. I know some people out there in ozfortress like Pudus.
Who doesn't, honestly?
Yeah.
If there's one character in TF2 that is just fully emblematic of it, who just, when you think of TF2, you think of this guy, you think of the heavy weapons guy. Everybody loves big Russian man with big Russian gun.
Well, speaking of the big Russian man with the big Russian gun, it looks like he's going to be laser beaming out again. They will have crits before they have Uber, so will he be able to drop the medic? Looks like they are actually trying to do a rap play here, as they are going to use onto last here, but they still have crits. They're going to have crits to use here. Laser beam comes out.
Popped out.
Will he find the frags?
Cup. Oh no, he doesn't. No. Zingerbox does get the gets the cap out. So game on. It's now 3-1 in favor of WTF. So I'm gonna watch.
As much as I'd love to see that laser beam heavy work, sadly it didn't.
That's a good idea though. I love it. So I'm gonna watch Feggy of the red team. Their roamer. See what he does, because I've been watching the demos, haven't seen much. Actually,
well,
speaking of demos, does get Zingerbox.
As the soldier aggression from Blue does come in, and it's actually pretty good here. But they're actually not finding the first they need to, and they're just getting cleaned up.
Melon does go down.
Wow. Ravu does go down, so it is salvaged a bit, but...
I just want to say, I spec'd Feggy that entire time, and all he did was jump and then die.
That's the soldier life, man. That's the
life of the roamer, yeah.
I'm not exactly... I think he was playing roamer, isn't he?
Either way. He's playing roamer.
Yeah, okay.
He did the roamer rollout.
Okay,
sort of.
Cool. So, yeah, that's the life of roamer, really. Jump and die and hope your team does something off it. As now Red trying to pressure into second here. He's getting some good damage, and actually that trap is going to catch Pingu out. But I don't think they're really going to be push off that. Even Ubers, and, well, you know what time it is, Jazz? It's stalemate time.
Stalemate. Actually, looks like they're going to start pressuring a lot through logs.
Oh, actually the frags are going to be coming through. As, well, they traded frags here. But it looks like they still want to fight this, and it looks like Red is actually going to be caught out in that choke point, outspammed.
They dropped 4 players in that exchange.
Yeah, I feel like that was a bit of a... I think they were trying to rotate their heals to get a local, like, heals advantage on the flank, but then the Blue team just rotated well and fragged out, so good job from Blue.
Yeah.
And I will say about that last push a while ago, I meant to say good job to them for rotating as well, so, like, Blue has picked it up, like, a bit, as you can see.
Yeah,
but is it too little too late? I don't know, I feel like it is.
I don't know. It's only 7.5 minutes remaining. You know, we've seen games of Granary where Aussie teams have given up 5 points in 4 minutes, or 5 points.
We have indeed. So.
In a couple minutes. It was a short amount of time. I remember watching it on the treadmill at the gym.
Uber exchange coming out in choke. Looks like the Uber's gonna be pretty much the same. Red's Uber actually gonna be a lot better actually.
Melons does go
Melons
down.
Is
they
out.
just
Again, I feel like the positioning.
Yeah,
I think Melons needed to realize my Uber is nowhere near as good. I need to get out right now with the remaining Uber that I have. I mean, they did chase him pretty well, but I feel like he maybe could have gone out. I don't know. It's a tough one, that one. The mid is so big, it's easy to chase, but here come frags. Fragging out as Red try and push onto second here. But they are actually getting fragged. Oh, but the good pincer. That was really good. Soldier jumped behind and came back in, but here comes the cavalry from Blue. So they try and come in and deny this aggression from Red. And they're actually doing a really good job here, just staying as a good ball and a good combo. And this is where you want to get Ravu. Ravu, he's just going to leave here, and they really want to chase right now, but they're too focused on this scout. That's really well played from Weapon Fire there, actually. Yeah. He just distracted long enough. He wasn't aiming to, get any frags, he was just aiming to distract him long enough to get Ravu out, and Ravu, on equal parts, did a really good job of just saying, alright, you're going to do that, I'm just going to leave. So really well played from
See you later, gamers.
Yeah, I'm out. So here we go. It looks like they're going to be re-aggressing into mid here.
Looks like
they don't really have their players though.
But they do get an exchange forced out. Look
at the frags though. They just
three players. Zinger box playing and haha yeah. What are the rest of it? So
Blue trading back frags, but no, they just get collapsed on. Yeah, I feel like that was in the flank that happened.
Yeah. In these Uber exchanges, in all these exchanges, they just managed to pick up one or two frags and completely turn the table.
I feel like Blue is just completely out of position after their Uber runs out, and they just die for it. They're not ready to, okay, let's readjust for the post Uber. They're just like, they Uber in and like, oh shit, now we're kind of screwed because they I don't know, they just kind of sit there. But here we go, Red coming back in. Zingerbox is going to find a frag there.
Got a big sniper up on. Sniper goes down.
Well, it was big until he died. As Frag's actually favouring Blue right now. Yeah, he has been doing well, so you can't blame him. But Frag's definitely favouring Blue, and they will get mid off this. As Ravu in a good spot to leave here, as they're going to leave through the locker room, it looks like. As they are kind of hesitating, they kind of want to fight this with Uber.
They're like,
and they actually come in.
Force the issue again. They're confident. They're cheeky.
This is an interesting Uber here, and they're not going to actually find Melons, which they really should be. But the aggression's really good from Red, and actually
Melons goes down to Big Dad. Big Dad picks up Melons.
Oh, but Ravu will go down to the scouts of Blue. Will they be able to clean up here? Scout and Soldier combo on Red. As Kanye West going to be able to find the first frag.
Oh, he's going huge here. He's only got 18 health. Does go down.
Wow, that was really interesting. I feel like Red Ubered in, they just played well with their spawners that were coming in. The soldiers just came in and just cleaned up.
And I think in one way, it's also a way to buy them some time, because there's only 4 minutes or so left on the clock. So if you can take an Uber exchange, get their med, and even if you go down, it resets it, right? So there's no longer any leapfrogs. There's nothing going on. It's just another even Uber situation. So gives them more chance to stalemate, gives them more chance to just run down the clock.
So this is where we'll start seeing the desperation from Blue. 4 minutes on the clock. Melons is being focused by a scout, and the demo actually goes down in the meantime. And Blue is just crumbling under this pressure, and look, I hate to call it now, but I really think this might be it for Blue.
I would agree with that sentiment.
I mean, if they don't change anything drastically right now, like, I just think that they're not as coordinated as Red.
I just can't see them really pulling any plays out of the hat here, They've only got 3.5 minutes left, which is like enough time to capture 2 points, but they have massive Uber disadvantage. Rabbit basically has Uber right now. Melons is only at 15%. They don't have any off classes up on this last. I guess it's just one of those things, Melons has just been dropped.
Just to put the nail in the coffin, really, and just to get another round.
Time to play the point.
It's over. I'd say that's pretty much it. Three rounds in 3 minutes. I mean, it's maybe possible. I'm not actually sure, like, mathematically if that's possible, but like,
I'm gonna go out on a limb. Go out on a limb here and say.
It's gonna be crazy. Make a crazy prediction and say that I think. What the fuck am I doing? It's gonna take this out. As well, we will see the sniper to mid from Bread and Pinku.
And woke up with hundreds is running the rocket jumper or the.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it, really. Yeah. It's
just time to pad your stats.
Yeah, get the DPM. As you can see, Melon's running across the crossbow, finding the frag onto Bread. Coming in onto the mid, trying to find a trade frag onto
1v1
Ravu.
with Ravu.
But the soldier comes in to ruin it. Can we ban that soldier right now as the scout comes on?
Catfish, ban this man.
So yeah, I think this is time we can start talking about those maps. I guess Logjam more importantly. And what went wrong. I mean, we've kind of said it, haven't we? As the mini essentially goes on to second, like the coordination just wasn't there from...
Yeah, they just really not able to pull anything together, you know. They really not a whole lot of cohesion on the side of Rabbits, you know. Which you hate to see, you know. You want to see something tightly contested, you know. It was a good game, to be fair, on the side of WTF, but yeah, when push comes to shove, it's just they couldn't really get out of their own way. You know, they're either not coordinated or they're just caught off guard by WTF's pressure, and as a result, I mean, you know, 4-1 is a pretty convincing scoreline.
Yep, there's the GG's in chat now. If we
GG's
didn't know it was over before, but yeah, what's this in chat? See, you never disbanded to Spinky. Probably just a meme, but I hope so. As they, you know, they aren't a bad team. I think they're pretty good. You know, we saw some good stuff in them, but I just feel like
sometimes it just happens like that in games. You know, where you're either out. I mean, it could just be an off night. I've never seen.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the
play.
same page. I haven't really been, you know, keeping up with how Inter's going and that sort of stuff. But I just, you know, it could have been a bad game for them, and there were some like pushes there where it was just like really shady, and you know, wasn't the best idea. I feel, you know,
they just had
an expert opinion from a main player, but
yeah,
you know, it's
with my expert level open commentary. You know,
yeah, I feel a bit bad for critiquing this, but you know, it's our job. It's what we get paid for. We don't get paid, but
we get paid, and we don't get paid at all. Actually, Mitch, come on, man. You know, but
there we go. We get free land tickets. That's
so we've been told. So yeah, it's yeah. WTF on the other hand, like every time we've been seeing them push into last, and there we go, one last round up on the board. 5-1 is going to be the final score.
Getting those points, those sneaky points in the ladder, could mean everything for their final ladder position.
In that last couple weeks, you know. So that's time. GG, well played to both teams, but especially well done to WTF, who really, you know, really just managed to pull together a lot of the time. They're very cohesive, very coordinated.
Yeah, they played really well together, and like you know, my standout player I think for Red's got to be Ravu. He's really good in his positioning. He just played really well, you know. They all played really well, but Ravu really just stood out to me as like he lived in the situations he needed to live. He was selfish, and he played it. I think he played it pretty much
hesitation. Yeah, no hesitation whatsoever when it comes to making a decision. He makes a decision, he sticks to it. He stays. He gets out. You know, it's never like I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then you're dead.
Yeah, I feel like that was more maybe a team thing from Blue. Maybe their calls just weren't as good as they usually are, and maybe the pressure got to them, or maybe they were tilted from the last map. You know. Anything can happen in officials, you know. After all, it is like one night out of, you know, like all the matches that you play. You know, a lot of things can go wrong. But
let's look at some stats actually. Now that we are talking about the game a little bit more in depth.
Yeah, we can really I think the thing that I want to compare in these logs is the medics, just to like kind of cement that point of you know.
Ravu, 2 kills, 21 assists, 10 deaths. Melons, 2 kills, 14 assists, 21 deaths.
Yeah, that's quite a lot of deaths.
That's the big killer.
Yeah.
That's big. That's massive. That is in many ways indefensible from both Melons.
Yeah, I mean the scouts on
and
Red,
the other team. But
the scouts on Red, the demo, like they all lived more than Melons, and like no shade at Melons, obviously. Like, you know, it could have just been a bad game, but I just feel like, you know, the positioning was just they didn't seem like they knew what they wanted to do or where they wanted to stand, sort of thing.
Well, they just had to, you know, commit to a push. Don't commit to a push. Are we staying in? Are we staying out? What are we doing? You know, and you know, maybe it's just bad calls. We can't really speak for the other team or the teams really in general. But
yeah, we're on in their comms. We don't know what happened on the night. We don't know how players are feeling if they're having a bad game. You know,
from what I was seeing, it was just very disconnected and very uncoordinated on Rabbit's behalf. Which isn't to take anything away from WTF because they played a bloody good game.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's one thing to like make mistakes in the other team and lose because of that. But it's like the other team, like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, they did so well in like punishing those mistakes, and that's why they were able to win like so convincingly, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the stats right here. Large and in charge, Big Dad, as he's colloquial known as, 36 kills, massive as a soldier.
And same DPM as the demo. Last map he DPM'd his demo, and now he's matching him. He's just such a high impact player.
Let's see, damage taken on behalf of Ravu is a little under 3,500, which is pretty good compared to Melon's 5,300. What else is there? Looking at the medic heal differences, Ravu healed almost a little under 30,000, Melon's 25,000. 13 Ubers on Ravu, 2 crits, including Laser Putis, which we all love to see. Melon's, 7 Ubers, but yeah, I just think the player of the game definitely has to be Ravu. Massive med performance from him, and from his massive med performance, it was a massive team performance all around.
Oh, for sure. And like that's the thing, everyone knows that the med is one of the most important classes to keep alive, and a lot of the time it's the med that needs to be self-sufficient in that, and he did exactly that, and he did it to near perfection, really. So, good job to him, hats off to him, and hats off to his team as well, they did really well. In terms of like kills and stuff, Red 140 to Blue's 111, so they did get out DM'd as well in a sense, I think. They're not as strong DM standpoint, but I just feel like that also comes down like their coordination just wasn't as good, as we've said like multiple times now. So yeah, so that's been it from us. I hope you enjoyed the cast. Thank you, Jazz, for joining me.
Thank you, Lucky.
Thank you, to all the other casters, Default and Goose. Thank you for coming along. Thank you to everyone who was watching. This was Main and Inter ozfortress Season 26 matches. Stay tuned for more. We will be announcing when there's more casting. Jazz, do you have any shoutouts?
Shout out to the viewers. Shout out to my team, Brown Moment. We won tonight. I wanted to just plug that in. And have a good night, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you guys the next time around.